In this day and age, there are so many ways to get your training or your educational message across on the internet. There are podcasts, there are blog posts, there are videos, just like you're watching right here. And oftentimes I get the question as to which one should I be using for my business? I don't like doing video, but I hear podcasts are all the cool things. And right now, these are the kind of questions that people are coming to us and asking as to how they should be conveying their information, because the internet can be just an amazing blast of information. You see people doing everything, and it freaks you out, and you have no idea what you should be doing. So you know what? That's what we're going to talk about this week on 3 and 5 with Patrick Allmond. Hey my friends, this is another weekly 3 and 5 with Patrick Allmond, where I answer 3 marketing questions in 5 minutes. I run a digital marketing agency at allaboutfocus.com, and I do these videos to help give you a quick, simple answer to a lot of the questions that you may have in your head about digital marketing and that we get all the time via social media, via email, via every kind of personal conversation. Sometimes when I'm out and about, people are asking me, how do I do certain things in digital media? So these videos are made to help you answer those questions yourself if the information applies to your business. So the one recently I got, and I'm going to kind of expand on this a little bit, is podcasts are all the rage. Should I be doing a podcast? Because I see podcasts are getting extremely popular. People are making a ton of money with podcasts, and I'm just wondering if I should jump on that bandwagon. And I thought I would generalize that a little bit into just kind of media in general, is to let's talk about what media you should be using and how do you choose that media for your business. I'm going to basically segment media into 3 basic types, okay? There's print media, which has been around the world forever and is also on the internet. There's audio-only media, which in the real world would be radio, and on the internet it would be a podcast. And then there's the video type media. In the real world it would be television, and on the internet it would be digital video like this: YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, things like that. And I consider those the 3 levels of marketing, and so I want to help you decide which level is right for you. The first level, blogging, is one of the easiest ones to get started. Blogging is text. And if you hear people brag about the fact that they're a blogger, well, you know what? Being a blogger has never really impressed me, because that just means that you type on a keyboard and you post it up there. There are no special qualifications to becoming a blogger. Everybody can be a blogger, and I would highly encourage you to look at using that for your business. If you're the type of person that's uncomfortable with video, but you are really good with the written word and your grammar is excellent, then that may be an avenue that you want to pursue. Okay? Podcasting may not be something that's as comfortable to you as it may be to me or to somebody else, or someone who's been doing it a long time. So what you have to do, first of all, and here's your first of your 3 answers, is which medium do you communicate best in? The written word, the audio only, which has to be somewhat conversational with people, or video, where you can look at a camera and convey emotionally a point to get your point across for people to understand how your business works. So think about that. Do some self-analysis. Are you a better writer, better conversationalist, or better person who can just directly convey information to somebody's eyes? So that's the biggest criteria as to how to determine what to work on first. The second one I want you to consider is the amount of time each one takes. Doing a blog post, for example, is pretty easy if you're a good writer. You can probably knock out a good blog post in an hour or 2 and have that up on the internet, and you can probably knock those out pretty rapidly. You can even knock out a couple a day if you were doing it right. As you move up in the media escalation, is what I call it, the time and the money get a little bit more intensive. So for example, if you're going to do a podcast, it's going to require a little bit more equipment, not much despite what you've heard, a little bit more time, and a little bit more production time and quality also. Plus you have to be able to have a nice quiet environment to work in. You can write a blog post in a Starbucks, but you can't do a podcast in a Starbucks, or I suppose you could if you don't mind the noise being around you. And of course, the third one I'm going to cover is the cost. As you move up in the media escalation or the quality of media types, the cost goes up. And getting a blog up on something like WordPress is very low cost. You can do that probably in like an hour or 2. And there's different levels even within there. A podcast requires a little bit more time investment, a little bit more money investment, but again, it's not outrageous. And then doing the videos like I'm doing here can be done at a variety of levels. I've encouraged people to do videos on their phone or on their cameras, or even sometimes buying a high quality video camera like I have here in the Focus Digital Marketing Studios today. And so those are your 3 answers to this week when it comes to deciding what media to use. Which one are you comfortable with? How much time do you have to invest, and how much money do you have to invest? If you have a lot of time, you're really good with the written word, you need a low-cost, easy way to get started, please start with blogging. If you're someone who's comfortable with audio work and having great conversations with people, have a little bit of financial budget, maybe $200 to $300, I would say, to get started in podcasting, then go ahead and jump on podcasting. And if you have a little bit more money and you're very comfortable presenting on camera, and not only that, if you can just look good on camera, then take it to the highest level, in my opinion. Start an online talk show, do videos like I do. I would encourage you, by the way, to go check out my YouTube channel to see the different styles of video. I've put my conference appearances up there. I've put several of these 3 and 5 videos up there, and I'll just put some random videos that I've taken like in an airport on my iPhone up there also. It's one of the things I like about video in this day and age, that's so darn easy. So in answer to those of you who are asking whether or not you should start a podcast, my answer is don't start a podcast because you think they're just getting popular right now. That's not been the case. Go out there and look at some of the people that have been doing podcasts for a while, and you realize that it's far from new. It's just the current fad. And by fad, I don't mean that it's going to blow up and then die away. What I mean is it's people have been doing it for a long time. I'll give you a very good example. Go out to Google and Google Craig Price Reality Podcast. Craig Price is a friend of mine from National Speakers Association, and he's been doing his podcast for years. And you can check out his example of doing a high quality podcast where you have good conversations with people, and he has a very great way of extracting information out of people. So podcasts are not new and they are not a fad. It's just right now there's currently a little bit more buzz about them because some people have talked about some great ways to make money with podcasts. And you know what, while we're at it, let's talk about that. You know what, this 3 and 5 video is going to be a lot longer than 3 and 5. How do you make money with a podcast? There are 2 ways you can make money with a podcast. The first one, which you rarely see, is you can actually charge people for the content. And you don't see this too often. Most people make their podcast free, but every now and then you'll see someone who puts their podcast behind a paywall, and you have to pay like a monthly subscription to get access to every episode. And the other way, and the main way you'll see, is sponsorships. You can get people, if you have enough volume and enough listenership on your podcast, you can charge sponsors and advertising fees on your website for people to place stuff in there, and you can also charge for sponsorship actually inside the podcast. Every now and then you'll see a podcast, or you'll listen to a podcast where someone will say, this podcast is sponsored by yada 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 yada. Usually that yada yada paid to be in that placement of that podcast because they realize that podcast has a great audience and they want to be inside and get the ear of that audience. So I hope this helped. If you have any more questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. Hit me up on social media. I am Patrick Allmond all over the place. Please get on the email list at ownyourempire.com, and definitely go subscribe on YouTube at Patrick Allmond so I get you new videos as fast as possible. Thanks again. Please keep sending me your business and digital marketing questions, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.